DIYers, hey, what's going on? Whiteboards with the Whiteboard channel. Thank you for watching. We're talking Chrysler Pacificas today. In today's video, the proper and safe way on how to replace your AC or air conditioned / heater recirculation motor. Let's get started. DIYers, we're in the garage now. On the far end of the garage is our 2018 Chrysler Pacifica, and down below in the comment and description will be several helpful video links, including replacing the auxiliary battery, front brakes, calipers, pads, rear brakes, calipers and pads, windshield wipers, and more. However, let's hop inside the passenger front and we are going down underneath near the glove box. At this point, I've got the camera positioned in a way we are looking at the far right and lower / inner portion of the glove box if you're sitting inside the passenger seat. And again, the first thing we are going to do is carefully remove this little mechanism from the far right portion or sidewall of the glove box and allow it to retract inside the compartment. And again, do this carefully and alleviate it from spring loading in an aggressive manner inside the compartment. You could damage that mechanism, or when it spring loads really fast back into the compartment, it could knot up or twist up, making it difficult to reinstall. So again, go slow, be careful. It does not actually have a long way to travel. So again, no need to allow it to spring load back and damage itself. However, coming inside the compartment, you can see the opposite end of this little mechanism that slides inside the actual cutout on the wall itself. And you don't need to do anything inside the compartment. All you'll have to do is grab it from the outside and shift it forward or down until the mechanism can be pulled out and again carefully retracted into the compartment. And what I'll do is I'll grab way up here, basically where this brass fitting is, that is right there. See it? And I'm trying not to get in your way, but I'm going to carefully shift that down and out as shown here. You can see the back of the housing. It's basically a triangle. And I'm going to ever so carefully allow it to slowly retract in. And there it is. I'll show you a close-up view. You can see it right inside there. So again, it doesn't have a long way to travel. From here, there's that cutout as you see right there. And the glove box itself is no longer held on with that slow closing or soft closing feature mechanism. It basically just falls as shown there. From here, we can carefully push in on these side panels and release these hooks from the inner panels on either side. And DIYers, we have found that this one over here, or the left side, is a friendly shift and removal. However, coming to the far right, this one is pretty stubborn and may test your patience. Most important thing to do is go slow and do not break or crack any portion of the sidewall of the glove box or the hook that latches on the back side or inner side of this panel. That would not be good. You would need a whole new glove box. Now to a different camera angle, and again, this side will be stubborn in most cases, and the opposite or left side will be pretty friendly. And again, as you do this, if you just push this in, the back panel will interfere and not allow this to be pushed in to a point where it can be released on the inner panel. And that's for both sides. You can see that's where that cutout comes in handy. You can basically move this and pull. However, I'm going to get this one done first. And to do so, I am going to ever so carefully adjust that with this little pry bar here. Again, go slow, be patient, do not break, bend, or crack any portion of your glove box. And DIYers, before I insert that pry bar, another quick tip. In the event that I left the glove box down like this, it makes it very difficult to pull the hook out from the inner panel. What you want to do is actually push up on the glove box until the hook itself clears the back side of the panel, making it much easier to loop over and around this panel that it seats into. From here, I've got the pry bar. I'm going to insert it as shown here. And again, push the glove box in about 3 to 4 inches and carefully pull it around that housing. You can see it's still stuck behind there just slightly. I'll pull it just a little bit more until that hook is fully released from the inner panel. From here, I'll do the same thing for the opposite side or left side, but I'm not going to use that pry bar. I'll push back on the panel as I simultaneously pull the sidewall of the glove box in. There we go. And from here, just ever so carefully lower it down evenly so you can release it from the lower hooks as shown there. I'll set that aside. From here, I'll reposition the camera. Camera is now positioned at a lower angle, and again, here's that felt liner or cover that we need to remove. And the only thing holding it in place on the bottom portion, as shown here and here, is one plastic securing clip or lock clip. And we will remove that without breaking it, and you've got one up top on either side we need to remove. And there's a right way to remove these clips, and there is a wrong way to remove them. If you do it the wrong way, you could do one of two things or both of those two things. Number one, rip the felt liner, and number two, break the actual clip. So to alleviate that, down below in the comment section as well as the description section is a link on where to purchase this little tool. This will really come in handy during this stage of the project. And what we are going to do is use that tool to poke the very center circle in on that lock clip. And by doing that, you will see the center portion is now recessed inside and has released the locking feature of that clip. We are now going to use the clip and come inside here and get it on either side and just pull it out. See how easy that was? And we did not break it. We didn't even scratch it. Look at that. And again, you get an additional clip here and here. Coming up inside, push the center circle in on both sides. And with this section right here, align it properly and remove the clip. See that? Very fast, very efficient, and very easy, and very proper. And once you release all three of those, you can pull out this liner, and on the very back side you have this electrical connection. And by pushing in, I'll come closer, you can release the lock feature and pull this out. Check that out. Now that the entire glove box and felt mat or cover or panel has been removed, let's go inside here. And right there is our AC and heater actuator motor. And do not get that mistaken or confused with the recirculation actuator motor, which is right there. And takes care of the operation of the vent up top. In the event that you have constant flapping or clicking sounds inside your dash, well, it is that actuator motor right there. We've got you covered. Down below in the comments and description will be a link on how to properly and safely replace that, as well as your air filter or cabin air filter right inside there. If you've got a musty smell or unfriendly dirty sock smell coming through your vents, well, guess what? It's likely you need to replace your cabin air filter. However, again, inside here is the actuator we are replacing, and we have ductwork right here, and we need to come down below and remove it. And you can see two screws, one on the left-hand side and one right there. And we need to carefully remove that and remove the entire plastic ductwork. Camera now in position directly below the glove box area and looking up at that ductwork. And again, we've got two screws, one on the left and one on the right. And our exact size is 9/32. And I'm using a 1/4 inch ratchet and socket with an extension. And these should not be on there tight. They are screwed into plastic. I've got that one loose. Now to the right side. And there is the right screw. Small, less than 1 inch. Do not lose them. And this one on the left-hand side is larger. Do not mix them up. And from here we can carefully pull down on this ductwork and be very careful, because up in there is an electrical connection point that connects to the actuator motor we are going to be replacing. Do not damage the electrical connection nor the wiring. Coming up top, inside here, and you've got that ductwork, and the bottom is what we are going to pull out. And I'm going to simultaneously pull this out, as shown here. And you will notice I pull it away from up top. See that? Carefully pull it down and out. And that is exactly what it looks like right there. Set that aside. And coming inside here, we are going to carefully pull the additional ductwork. And there it is. It was installed as shown here, connected. And there's little tabs in there. See the little indents? Go inside. And it connects into that ductwork there. And now we have much better access, a wide open access area to remove the old actuator motor and install a brand new one. Taking a step back, I'm actually going to come in from the bottom with my right hand, position the camera, and remove this electrical connection point. On the inner side or back side is a compression tab or lock tab. You are going to push in and simultaneously grab the plastic housing, not the wiring. The last thing you want to do is separate the wiring from the housing. That would not be good. And pull the electrical connection point off. From there, we have a lower left 7/32 screw and an upper right 7/32 screw. And you'll notice that upper left is just a hole that feeds onto a pin or stud on the internal housing. Taking a step back into a different camera angle, and DIYers, I'm doing my absolute best to give you good camera angles and lighting as we work through this project. And again, those internal screws that secure the actuator motor to the housing are 7/32 in size. And I've got my 1/4-inch ratchet and socket. And I'm going to insert it in there and carefully loosen them up. As you see, I've got the upper screw loosened. I'm now transitioning to the shorter 7/32 socket as opposed to the deep socket. And again, going inside and loosening and removing that lower screw. I'm trying to move the camera so you can see what I'm doing. From here, I'm going to loosen and remove it by hand. Do your absolute best not to drop them. There's the top screw. Set that aside. Coming back inside, there it is, fully removed. And down below. And hey, in the event that you drop anything, go on the inner side. See those orange little tabs on the panel? You can actually come inside here, put your fingers up in here, go back and release them. If you drop anything, you can find it back here. However, I'm going to put that back. And again, there's the old part. Let's go get the new part. DIYers, we're inside to the workstation on the other side of my mom and dad's 2003 Sea-Doo GTX. You can see the workbench, and always busy here. Lots of jet ski videos and 95 XP, reupholstering a seat and more. Twin carb 717 engine in that one, 951 DI in that one. Let's hop to the workbench. Making our way around the jet ski again. Always busy here, working on boats, jet skis, and more. And there's the inside of that 951 DI engine and OEM. There is our exact replacement part number. Again, OEM, we're just not ready to put aftermarket parts on our vehicle. Let's go and open it. And there is the brand new actuator. And there's some information for you. And looks exactly the same as the old one. Let's go compare the two. In front of us now on the left-hand side, the old and just removed part, and on the right-hand side, the brand new OEM replacement. And I need to properly lubricate the new part. New actuator properly lubricated. Down below in the comments and description will be a link on the proper lubrication to use. Let's get this new actuator motor installed. Back inside the car and inside the dash, and let's direct our attention to where the actuator motor is reinstalled and secured to. And you can see a white lever, and on the very bottom there is a tab that sticks out, and on the top it angles up into a triangle point. And to the right of that you see a larger or black stud that sticks out, and the center portion right here will go inside there. In addition, I want to come inside here. You can see that this part is movable. And position that in a way where it properly is aligned and goes inside the track of your actual part. In addition, the electrical connection point is on the bottom. There's going to be a screw here, and this hole right here goes up onto that tab right there. And as far as this part right here, DIYers, do your absolute best not to rotate it. You'll break it. Inside here is the electronic motor, and it is that motor that moves this, not you. Coming inside here. And again, aligning it properly with that lower tab inside. There we go. And time to secure the upper screw and lower screw. And if you rewind this video, you will notice that that white lever inside here was aligned in this manner when the old one was installed. Upper screw going in and securing. It's easy to drop these. Do your best not to. Now to the lower, and I've got it positioned inside the deep socket and held in place with my thumb. And I'm going to do my absolute best to insert this in a way where I can sink the screw in the hole. From here, I'll grab the ratchet. Again, you want them snug, but do not over tighten them. They're plastic, or the inserts are plastic. DIYers, we're making progress. Both upper and lower 7/32 screws are properly secured and the mount is properly positioned. And from here, I'm coming down below and the electrical connection point. And there is the back side that is going to go on the inner side here. Align it properly. And again, stay away from the wires. Push up until it is locked in place, as shown here. Take a step back. We are now going to begin resecuring the ductwork. Starting with this piece right here. And this part right here is going to be angled down. From here, we will feed the additional ductwork up from the bottom and resecure it up here, inside there. From here, let's go down below and resecure those 9/32 screws. We are now positioned at the very bottom, looking up underneath the glove box where that ductwork is. And again, on the left-hand side, you've got that longer screw. Do not over-tighten these either. You're screwing into plastic thread. And the shorter screw on the right is properly secured. Taking a step back, we are now going to resecure the felt cover or panel and reinstall the glove box. From here, it's time to grab our felt liner and we can resecure the electrical connection point on the back side, as shown there. And these little lock clips, I'm going to pull the pin out from the back and set that aside. And I want to show you the back side as shown here. And all I'm going to do is carefully compress these portions or teeth of the clip into the hole. And once you get it in the hole, you take your pin, as shown here, and you insert it inside the center hole and push it up until it is flush and locked in place, as shown there. And I will do the exact same thing for the left hole. And I'll actually pull the felt down just a little bit so I can actually push the clip through, as you see right there, and feed it into the hole. And once it's in, again, grab your pin and push it up flush and lock that clip in place. We got one more here. I'm going to shift this piece of felt into that little slot right there, as shown there. That basically positions this side accordingly. And same thing, I've removed the pin and do not break any portion of these teeth. Followed by the pin. And I'll grab that little rope that is spring-loaded, as you see here, and I'll basically rest it right on the far low point to the right. And I'm going to reposition the camera. And you've got 4 slots, one large one on the far left, 2 small ones in the dead center, and 1 large one on the far right. And make sure as you shift the glove box back in place, you align all those slots with the rounded hooks. And from here, you can carefully grab this portion, pull that out, as well as bring the glove box up. I'm just going to shift it inside that little hole. And to a close-up view, as shown there. And if all looks good, it is now time to ever so carefully shift those hooks back behind the panels on either side. And I'm going to start with this one over here. That one's in, as well as this one. And there we go. Test your glove box. And there we go. We are inside the vehicle now. We're just going to start the engine and we are going to go through all of these settings, air condition as well as heating. Engine started. And turning on our display. And coming down to AC. Turn that on, turn it up. And again, we're just going to go through these settings. And by pushing this center button here is how you can go through those selected positions of the vents and ductwork. And down below. And again, right now I'm just checking for any obnoxious or unfriendly sounds after the repair or replacement of that actuator motor. And now up and down. And just make sure that the air is coming out of the proper vents in lieu or in relation to the setting. And right here. And yes. Well, that feels really, really good after that project. And now both. And back down to the bottom. I'm going to turn the AC off and I'm going to turn the heat up by the arrow. As you can see, I'm taking it up. Let's just go to high. And right now it's on the bottom. I'm going to select that where it's on defrost as well. Again, still no unfriendly sounds. And here. And that is heat. Yes, that is heat. And I'm going to now turn the temperature down. About 65. I'm going to turn the system off. And that's it. We hope this helps. Hey, do us a favor, below the video, you will see that thumbs up icon. Click on that, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely ring your YouTube bell. That would be very helpful to us. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching. And real quick, DIYers, to a close-up view of our instrument cluster, and in the event that you are wondering what our odometer is for this replacement today, 76,778. So in the event that you are replacing that actuator motor at this roughly same time, you're not the only one.